Today we will take a detailed look at the history and design of the ships of the fleet of the ancient Sith Empire. From monstrous battleships to lightning-fast fighters. Fasten your seatbelts and subscribe to the channel. Nordy with you, and we are starting. The Harrower-class Dreadnought stood as one of the most formidable warships in the Sith Empire's arsenal, a symbol of power and dominance throughout the galaxy. Produced by Terab Starship Manufacturing, this massive vessel was classified as both a battlecruiser and a dreadnought, designed to serve as the primary backbone of the Imperial Navy. With its imposing length of nearly 800 meters, a width of 433 meters, and a height of 151 meters, the Harrower class was a behemoth among capital ships. Its wedge-shaped design, a signature of the Sith Empire's naval architecture, gave it an aggressive, predatory appearance on the battlefield, making it a terrifying sight for its enemies. The Harrower-class Dreadnought was heavily armored, with thick, reinforced hull plating that could absorb significant damage. Its design was unique in that the front wedge was split into two prongs, creating a forked prow that housed several important systems, including docking and hangar bays. This design not only contributed to the ship's striking look, but also allowed for practical advantages in deploying its formidable complement of starfighters and bombers. The Dreadnought served multiple roles, primarily as a capital ship, responsible for leading fleet operations and engaging enemy forces, but also as a command ship, capable of coordinating complex battle strategies across large-scale engagements. When it came to firepower, the Harrower class did not disappoint. It was armed to the teeth with a wide range of weaponry designed for both ship-to-ship combat and defensive operations. Turbo-laser batteries, over 32 in total, formed the primary offensive armament, delivering devastating volleys of energy that could cripple enemy vessels. These turbo-lasers were placed strategically across the ship's hull, with the majority covering the front and flanking sides to support aggressive forward-facing assaults. Quad-laser turrets acted as the ship's primary point defense system, capable of fending off enemy starfighters and smaller craft with rapid bursts of energy. Additionally, the Dreadnought was equipped with ion cannons, which specialized in disabling enemy shields and electronics, rendering even well-defended ships vulnerable. For heavy ordnance, the proton torpedo tubes and concussion missile launchers provided long-range, high-impact strikes, ideal for overwhelming capital ships and fortified installations. Supporting this firepower was a well-designed network of hangar bays spread throughout the ship. The Harrower class featured 5 docking bays, 2 located at the front prongs of the ship, another 2 along the sides, and 1 underbelly bay for rapid deployment. These docking bays housed an impressive complement of 95 starfighters, primarily Mark VI Supremacy-class fighters, which were the backbone of the Imperial Navy's fighter squadrons. Alongside these starfighters were 32 B28 Extinction-class Bombers, designed to deliver heavy payloads against capital ships and planetary targets. The ship also carried 35 shuttles used for transporting troops, resupply missions, and boarding actions. The Dreadnought could transport up to 7,300 troops, allowing it to serve as a planetary assault platform or lead boarding actions against enemy vessels. The sheer scale of the ship required a significant crew to operate efficiently. A complement of 2,400 crew members manned the ship's various systems, from gunnery and engineering to the bridge and flight operations. This large crew ensured that the ship could function smoothly, even during intense battles, and allowed for quick reactions to any emergencies that arose. Beneath its imposing exterior, the Harrower-class Dreadnought housed a complex and highly advanced set of systems. Its engine configuration consisted of 3 massive main thrusters, flanked by 4 smaller auxiliary thrusters. These engines gave the Dreadnought surprising mobility for its size, allowing it to position itself quickly in battle or to chase down fleeing enemy ships. At the heart of the ship was its reactor, providing power to the ship's many systems. Later models of the Harrower class were enhanced with Isotope 5 reactors, increasing the ship's power output, speed, and combat capabilities. Ships equipped with this technology were instantly recognizable by their glowing green lights, symbolizing their enhanced status. The ship was also fitted with a hyperdrive, enabling long-range travel across the galaxy and making it a key asset for deep space assaults and fleet movements. In terms of defensive systems, the Dreadnought was equipped with 4 deflector shield generators that provided immense protection against energy-based attacks. These shields, combined with the ship's heavily reinforced armor, allowed the Harrower-class to absorb significant amounts of damage in prolonged engagements. In the event of a catastrophic failure, the ship was equipped with numerous escape pods to ensure the survival of the crew and troops on board. Despite being one of the most heavily armed and armored vessels in the Imperial Navy, the designers of the Harrower-class ensured that there were contingency plans for survival in case the ship was critically damaged. Overall, the Harrower-class Dreadnought was a masterpiece of military engineering, perfectly embodying the Sith Empire's philosophy of overwhelming strength and tactical dominance. With its devastating array of weapons, vast troop-carrying capacity, and strong defensive capabilities, it was capable of holding its own against entire fleets of enemy ships. As both a command ship and a frontline warship, the Harrower-class played a critical role in the Sith Empire's wars, from the Great Galactic War to later conflicts, standing as a testament to the Empire's martial prowess and technological superiority. Over the course of its long service, the Harrower-class Dreadnought underwent numerous modifications and refits, evolving to meet the changing needs of the Sith Empire's military. These variants often introduced substantial changes to the ship's design, armament, and specialized functions, to the point where some were barely recognizable as Harrower-class vessels. Each modification was tailored to different theaters of war, technological advancements, and specific strategic purposes, ensuring that the Harrower-class remained a dominant force in galactic warfare. One of the earliest variants was the Early Type Harrower, which was prominent during the early years of the Great Galactic War, including key battles like the Battle of Korriban. This version featured wide, squared-off frontal prongs that gave the ship a more blocky, robust appearance. A distinctive feature of this variant was its set of 4 turrets mounted on both the upper and lower rear wing structures of the ship. These turrets provided additional firepower, especially against approaching enemy craft from the rear. This design reflected the early stages of the Sith Empire's naval strategy, focused on brute force and defensive capabilities. As the war progressed, the late-type Harrower became the most widely used model throughout the conflict with the Republic. Seen at major engagements such as the First Battle of Balthawoui, this version of the Harrower-class featured narrower, more pointed frontal prongs, which gave the ship a sleeker, more aggressive silhouette. One of the most significant changes from the early type was the repositioning of the turrets. Instead of being located on the rear wings, the turrets were moved forward to just above the forward hangar bay, forming 2 rows of 4 turrets on both the top and bottom of the ship. This provided enhanced forward firepower, allowing the late-type Harrower to deliver devastating frontal assaults. Another notable variant was the Tingle Arm type, which saw action during the assault on the Tingle Arm. This version had a significant departure from the design of later Harrowers, most notably in its less widely split prow. The gap between the 2 frontal prongs was reduced to a narrow slit, which effectively obscured the central hangar bay. This modification likely served to provide additional structural integrity and protection to the hangar, as well as a more compact profile. Though less common, the Tingle Arm type was a specialized version for specific engagements in this volatile region of space. The Valor Prevails type was a unique and rare variant, named after the only known vessel of this class, the Valor Prevails. Its distinguishing feature was the diagonal inset frontal hangar bays. Additionally, the frontal prongs were angled inward, with their tips nearly meeting at the front. This modification gave the ship a more closed, aggressive look, and potentially provided greater protection to the hangar bays. However, with only one known example of this variant, it remained a curiosity within the larger fleet of Harrower-class ships. For more tactical and specialized operations, the BSX-5 Dreadnought variant was developed. While visually similar to the standard Harrower class, the BSX-5 was significantly smaller, measuring 600 meters in length. This reduction in size came with a corresponding decrease in armament and starfighter complement, making it a more agile but less powerful version of the Dreadnought. The most famous vessel of this type was the Dominator, flagship of Darth Jadus, a ship that became infamous for its role in Sith internal politics and military operations. One of the most powerful and devastating Harrower-class variants was the Silencer type, designed to incorporate a superweapon known as the Silencer Megalaser. The forward hangar bays were stripped out to make room for this massive weapon, which was capable of destroying capital ships in a single shot. Unlike many superweapons, the Silencer could recharge quickly enough to fire in rapid succession, earning it the nickname Fleet Killer. The first ship of this type, the Doombringer, demonstrated the terrifying potential of the silencer weapon, and more of these vessels were constructed under the orders of Darth Nox as the Sith Empire sought to maintain its technological superiority. Similar in appearance to the silencer type, the Gauntlet-type Harrower featured another formidable superweapon, the Gauntlet Lightspeed Cannon. This weapon, unlike the silencer, was designed to target enemy ships while they were in hyperspace, effectively turning the ship into a weapon capable of destroying vessels before they even arrived at their destination. This variant was specialized for disrupting enemy fleet movements and cutting off escape routes. However, it saw limited production, with the only known example being destroyed by Havoc Squad, a key victory for the Republic forces. These modifications and variants of the Harrower-class Dreadnought showcase the Sith Empire's adaptability and innovation in ship design. From fleet coordination to superweapon platforms, the Harrower class was tailored to meet the needs of different military campaigns, ensuring its place as one of the most iconic and fearsome warships of the Sith Empire. Each variant contributed to the legacy of the Harrower class, cementing its status as a symbol of the Empire's military might. The Harrower-class Dreadnought played a pivotal role in the military campaigns of the Sith Empire, becoming a cornerstone of its naval might for centuries. Its history stretches back as early as 3712 before Battle of Yavin, when an early model known as the Red Reaper was given to Darth Icarol. Icarol, a Sith Lord, used the Red Reaper to conduct an expedition in search of pure-blooded Sith outside the Empire's borders. This marked the beginning of the Harrower class's long journey as one of the Empire's most powerful warships. By 3681 before Battle of Yavin, when the Sith Empire instigated the Great Galactic War against the Galactic Republic, the Harrower class had become the primary capital ship of the Imperial Navy. Early models of the Harrower class, which were similar in design to the Red Reaper, would soon be phased out during the war as new, improved versions took their place. These early dreadnoughts formed the bulk of the Imperial fleet when the Republic first encountered the Empire in the Tingle Arm, a key moment in the Galactic War. The Harrower class saw extensive action throughout the conflict. One of its most significant early deployments was during the Empire's mission to reclaim its ancient homeworld, Korriban. In 3678 before Battle of Yavin, over 30 Harrower-class dreadnoughts participated in the battle, which successfully restored Korriban to Sith control. That same year, several Harrowers helped defend Korriban from a Republic assault, reinforcing the planet's defenses and maintaining the Empire's hold over this key Sith stronghold. The Harrower class continued to be a critical asset throughout the Great Galactic War, notably during the First Battle of Bothaway in 3671 before Battle of Yavin, when the Sith Empire attempted to capture the Mid-Rim world. The battle ended in a Republic victory, but the Harrower-class dreadnoughts that participated in the attack played a key role in the fierce combat that unfolded. Harrower-class ships were also present during major engagements, such as the Battle of Alderaan in 3667, before Battle of Yavin, where at least 3 dreadnoughts fought in the skies over the famous core world, and the Rim campaign of 3661 to 3660 before Battle of Yavin, which saw intense fighting across the Outer Rim. 2 dreadnoughts were lost during the lengthy Battle of Ord Radama, highlighting the high stakes of these large-scale engagements. One of the more mysterious stories surrounding the Harrower class involved the Void Star, a powerful prototype dreadnought that disappeared during the war. The Void Star was later rediscovered as a derelict ship during the Cold War, raising questions about its fate and the nature of its disappearance. This prototype represented some of the most advanced technology of the era, and its loss was a significant blow to the Sith Navy. Perhaps the most infamous moment in the Harrower class's service came in 3653 before Battle of Yavin, during the sacking of Coruscant. Harrower-class dreadnoughts, including the Scream of Ragnos, spearheaded the Sith fleet as it descended upon the Republic's capital. This devastating attack led to the signing of the Treaty of Coruscant, effectively ending the Great Galactic War and securing a temporary truce between the 2 warring factions. Following the war, Harrower-class dreadnoughts remained a key component of the Sith Empire's fleet. Over a dozen of these ships, along with Terminus-class destroyers, were stationed at Vacan Space Dock, the primary staging area of the Imperial Navy. Among these were notable vessels such as the White Nova and the Zeost Shadow, which became symbols of the Empire's enduring strength. Grand Moff Rikus Kilrin, one of the Empire's most notorious military commanders, led the Imperial Fifth Fleet from the Harrower-class Dreadnought Emperor's Glory. Kilrin and the Emperor's Glory were central to several key missions, including an attempt to capture the Republic ambassador Vinasara during an attack on the transport Essels in 3643 before Battle of Yavin. Later, the Emperor's Glory defended the Maelstrom prison from a Republic assault, but Kilrin was killed during the battle, and the ship was ultimately destroyed. As the Galactic War reignited, Isotope 5 Harrower-class Dreadnoughts were deployed in the battle over Corellia to destroy the Meridian Complex, further showcasing the Harrower's adaptability and continued relevance in galactic warfare. Ships equipped with the Isotope 5 technology were faster and stronger than standard models, giving the Sith Empire a significant advantage in this renewed conflict. The Harrower class's legacy extended far beyond the wars it participated in. Centuries later, Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord who would become Emperor Palpatine, remarked on the similarity between the Harrower-class Dreadnoughts and his own Imperial Star Destroyers. This acknowledgement of the Harrower's influence on future designs speaks to its lasting impact on military shipbuilding across the galaxy. Despite its age, the Harrower class remained a symbol of the Sith Empire's power, innovation, and ability to adapt to the demands of galactic warfare, cementing its place in history as one of the most iconic capital ships ever built. The Terminus-class Destroyer was a versatile and powerful capital ship used by the Sith Empire, playing a significant role during the Cold War and subsequent conflicts. At 500 meters in length, the Terminus-class was a medium-sized destroyer, designed to serve as a multi-purpose warship for various military roles, from patrol duties to escort missions, and even transporting high-ranking Imperial officials. Though smaller than the larger Harrower-class Dreadnoughts, it was nonetheless a formidable vessel with significant firepower, making it a reliable asset for the Imperial Navy. In terms of design, the Terminus-class bore similarities to the Gauge-class transport, though it was far more heavily armed and specialized for combat. Its sleek, angular appearance was characteristic of many ships in the Sith fleet, optimized for offensive operations and supporting larger fleets. The destroyer's dual long-range sensor towers allowed it to detect enemy movements over vast distances, making it effective in scouting missions or coordinating attacks. Its primary role was to engage similarly sized ships or provide support during larger fleet engagements. In combat, the Terminus class was equipped with turbo-laser cannons, laser turrets, concussion missile launchers, and a single ion cannon, which gave it the ability to strike a variety of targets, from starfighters to smaller capital ships. Despite its considerable firepower, the Terminus-class destroyer wasn't equipped to challenge much larger vessels like the Valor-class cruisers of the Galactic Republic. It was, however, more than a match for Thranta-class corvettes and Hammerhead-class cruisers, which were the workhorses of the Republic fleet. This ability to punch above its weight made it an essential tool in the Empire's efforts to secure newly captured territories, allowing Harrower-class dreadnoughts to focus on larger-scale operations without being tied up in smaller skirmishes. The Terminus class also carried a modest complement of 14 starfighters, 2 bombers, and 3 shuttles, giving it the ability to deploy fighters in battle or conduct quick transport and supply missions. Its crew of 520 managed the ship's systems and ensured efficient operations during combat, while the destroyer could also carry 285 troops for planetary assaults or defensive actions. Throughout the Cold War and beyond, the Terminus class became a mainstay of the Sith fleet. These ships were often seen in various engagements, whether patrolling the fringes of Sith-controlled space or participating in larger naval battles. Darth Mar, a prominent Sith Lord, used a Terminus-class destroyer as his flagship, further enhancing its capabilities by outfitting it with additional turbolaser batteries, making it even more formidable than the standard model. One of the most infamous uses of the Terminus-class design was the construction of the Ascendant Spear, a heavily modified version of the destroyer. Unlike the standard Terminus-class ships, the Ascendant Spear was over a mile long and incorporated a powerful command and control sphere that allowed a cybernetically enhanced Force user to interface directly with the ship's systems. This allowed for unprecedented control over the vessel, enhancing its combat effectiveness and making it one of the deadliest warships in the Sith fleet. The ship was equipped with advanced weaponry, a faster hyperdrive, and state-of-the-art technology, making it a fearsome weapon during its time. During the Third Galactic War, the Terminus class saw further modifications as the Empire embraced new technologies. Ships outfitted with Isotope 5 reactors and engines were deployed in the Meridian Complex assault, boosting their speed and power and making them more effective in the rapidly escalating galactic conflict. The Terminus-class Destroyer played a crucial role in the Sith Empire's military operations across multiple wars, from the aftermath of the Great Galactic War to the rise of the Eternal Empire and beyond. Its versatile design and impressive firepower made it a key asset in both offensive and defensive operations. In the years following the Great Galactic War, a pair of Terminus-class destroyers were deployed as patrol ships in the Vesla system, tasked with monitoring Imperial space and ensuring the security of vital systems. During this period, Theron Shan, a skilled agent from the Republic Strategic Information Service, managed to evade these vessels while infiltrating the Black Sector, showcasing the ship's role in maintaining Imperial security. During the Cold War, the Terminus-class destroyers were often used in tandem with larger Harrower-class Dreadnoughts to protect key locations, including the vital Vacan space dock, the main staging area of the Imperial Navy. The destroyers played a supporting role, acting as escorts and defensive ships, ensuring the safety of more strategic assets. Their ability to patrol and guard Imperial territory proved essential in maintaining the Empire's strength during this period of uneasy peace between the Republic and Sith. As tensions escalated into the renewed Galactic War, the Terminus-class destroyers became an integral part of the Imperial fleet, deployed in combat alongside the Harrower-class Dreadnoughts in numerous engagements against Republic forces. The ships saw action in major battles, helping to tip the scales in favor of the Sith in several key conflicts. One of the most notable users of the Terminus class was Darth Mar, a prominent Sith Lord, who commanded a modified version of the ship as his flagship. However, his ship, along with several others, was ultimately destroyed by the powerful Eternal Fleet during a battle in wild space, marking a turning point in the Sith Empire's conflict with the Eternal Empire. Despite the loss of Mar's flagship, the Terminus class remained in active service throughout the war, continuing to support the Empire's military objectives. The destroyers played a significant role in the invasion of Voss, and later engagements such as the Battle of Eocath, where they operated under the orders of Empress Asina, the ruler of the reconstituted Sith Empire. These battles saw the destroyers continue their legacy as vital components of the Imperial fleet, aiding in assaults and defending key Imperial strongholds. Beyond their service to the Sith Empire, Terminus-class destroyers were also adopted by the Eternal Alliance during their war against Zakuul, demonstrating the ship's adaptability and continued value in galactic warfare. As the conflicts continued to evolve, the destroyers found themselves participating in increasingly diverse military operations, further solidifying their importance on the galactic stage. During the Third Galactic War, the Terminus-class destroyers were still actively engaged in combat operations, including the invasion of Ossus, a pivotal battle in the ongoing war between the Republic and the Sith Empire. As preparations for the Meridian Complex assault ramped up, one Terminus-class destroyer was reported in a deep space skirmish, signaling the ship's role in key naval engagements. In the actual Meridian Complex assault, an impressive 73 Terminus-class destroyers were deployed as part of the invasion fleet, marking one of the largest concentrations of these ships seen in the conflict. Throughout its service, the Terminus-class destroyer proved to be a reliable and versatile warship, capable of holding its own in battle while supporting larger vessels and coordinating fleet actions. Its enduring presence in multiple wars, from the Cold War to the Third Galactic War, highlighted its importance in the Sith Empire's naval strategy and ensured its place in galactic history as a key asset in the Sith's military might. The Interdictor-class Cruiser was a hallmark of Sith military engineering, representing not only the strength of the Sith Empire, but also its strategic genius in space warfare. This imposing capital ship played a vital role in shaping the course of several galactic conflicts, most notably the Jedi Civil War and its aftermath. Developed initially by Republic CNR systems and later mass-produced in astronomical numbers by the ancient superweapon, the Starforge, the Interdictor-class Cruiser emerged as one of the most formidable vessels in the Sith fleet. One of the ship's most unique features was its ability to disrupt hyperspace travel, earning it the classification of a hyperspace interdiction cruiser. This ability, facilitated by its powerful gravity well projectors, allowed the Sith to trap enemy vessels mid-flight, forcing them to engage in battle rather than escape. Such a capability was revolutionary and would have far-reaching implications for naval strategy in the galaxy, as it changed the dynamics of space combat entirely. No longer could enemies flee to the safety of hyperspace when outmatched. Instead, they were forced to face the full might of the Sith fleet, often with devastating consequences. As a result, the Interdictor class became a key asset in the Sith war machine, playing an essential role in countless engagements across the stars. From hunting down smaller rebel factions to spearheading large-scale assaults, the Interdictor-class cruisers formed the backbone of Sith fleets, and their presence often tipped the scales in favor of the Sith Empire. These vessels were particularly noted for their roles in large fleet actions, where they operated in tandem with Harrower-class Dreadnoughts and other Sith warships. The Interdictor-class cruisers would be deployed to prevent enemy forces from retreating, while heavier Sith vessels would provide the firepower needed to overwhelm their targets. In battles that spanned light years, such as the sieges of Taris and Rakata Prime, the Interdictors were invaluable in denying escape routes to the Republic forces, forcing them to engage in battles where the Sith could dictate the terms. This relentless, uncompromising approach to warfare contributed to the Sith's dominance during the height of their power. The Interdictor-class cruiser was a truly imposing warship, both in terms of physical size and firepower. Measuring 600 meters in length, it was slightly smaller than later warships like the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, but it still stood as an awe-inspiring symbol of Sith naval prowess. Its design featured a split hull structure, with both dorsal and ventral components, which gave the ship its distinct silhouette. This configuration not only contributed to its menacing appearance, but also optimized the layout of its weapon systems and propulsion. The ship's propulsion system was a critical component of its effectiveness in battle. With 3 main thrusters and 4 auxiliary thrusters, the Interdictor-class cruiser had exceptional maneuverability for a vessel of its size. This allowed it to reposition quickly in the heat of battle, a necessary trait for a ship tasked with hyperspace interdiction, as it needed to cover large areas of space to trap fleeing enemy vessels. Its primary bridge was located within a sternward tower, which housed the ship's command center. From this vantage point, the ship's officers could oversee large-scale engagements, directing both fleet movements and the operation of the ship's critical systems. In terms of firepower, the Interdictor-class cruiser was well equipped for both offensive and defensive operations. It carried 5 medium turbo laser batteries, which provided considerable firepower against enemy capital ships. These turbo lasers were the primary offensive weapon, capable of delivering devastating volleys against enemy cruisers, frigates, and other large vessels. Supporting these heavy weapons were 6 light-point defense laser batteries, strategically positioned around the ship to provide a 360-degree defensive field against smaller, faster-moving targets like starfighters and bombers. This made the ship highly effective not only in direct engagements with other capital ships, but also in defending itself against swarms of smaller enemy craft. However, the most defining feature of the Interdictor-class cruiser was its gravity well projectors. The ship was equipped with 4 of these massive devices, which could generate artificial gravity fields strong enough to prevent ships from entering hyperspace. By projecting these gravity wells into space, the Interdictor class could effectively trap enemy fleets in normal space, leaving them vulnerable to Sith attacks. This ability gave the Sith Empire a massive strategic advantage, as it allowed their forces to dictate the terms of engagement, often catching Republic or Jedi forces by surprise and preventing them from regrouping or retreating. Additionally, the cruiser featured 3 tractor beam batteries, which were critical during boarding operations or when trying to capture disabled enemy vessels. These tractor beams could lock onto a target, pulling it into close range for boarding actions or preventing it from escaping once its engines were damaged. In combination with the ship's gravity well projectors, the tractor beams made the Interdictor class a fearsome hunter, able to disable and capture enemy ships with terrifying efficiency. The cruiser's complement included 48 Sith interceptors, which were stationed in the ship's hangar bays. These small, fast starfighters could be rapidly deployed to engage enemy fighters, providing additional support to the Interdictor's point defense systems. The ship also carried 2 shuttles and various support vehicles, which were used for both logistical operations and the transportation of troops during planetary assaults or boarding actions. The ship's crew was equally formidable, with a standard complement of 5,224 officers, engineers, and support personnel. In addition, the Interdictor-class Cruiser was designed to transport large numbers of Sith troops, up to 3,600 soldiers at a time. These troops could be deployed in ground invasions or used to board and capture enemy vessels, making the ship a versatile tool in the Sith military's arsenal. With a cargo capacity of 11,000 tons, the ship could carry supplies and munitions sufficient to support extended military campaigns, far from any resupply points. The Interdictor class was also designed for long-duration missions, with enough consumables to last for up to 3 years. This made it ideal for deep space operations, where supply lines might be limited or non-existent. The ship was equipped with advanced shielding systems to protect it from enemy fire, and featured a Class 2.0 hyperdrive, with a Class 9 backup system in case of emergencies. This robust hyperdrive system allowed the ship to traverse vast distances quickly, ensuring that it could be deployed to critical battlefronts at a moment's notice. The Interdictor-class Cruiser was not merely a combat ship, it was a tool of strategic dominance. Its role in the Sith fleet extended beyond firepower. Its ability to control the battlefield by dictating the flow of enemy movements made it an irreplaceable asset. The interdiction capabilities of the Interdictor class changed the nature of space combat. Where traditional naval engagements were often won or lost by the ability to retreat and regroup, the presence of an Interdictor-class cruiser removed this option for the Republic's forces. Once engaged, they were committed to battle, unable to withdraw to hyperspace. The Sith Empire made use of these cruisers extensively, deploying them in nearly every major battle during the Jedi Civil War. They were used to great effect in operations that required the Sith fleet to trap enemy forces, allowing Sith dreadnoughts and other warships to close in for the kill. Whether blocking hyperspace routes, intercepting convoys, or providing fleet-wide interdiction during massive sieges, the Interdictor-class Cruiser was at the heart of the Sith's space combat doctrine. In conclusion, the Interdictor-class Cruiser was a masterpiece of Sith engineering, combining brute force with tactical finesse. Its ability to dominate the battlefield by preventing hyperspace travel made it a unique and indispensable component of the Sith fleet, and its legacy influenced the design of countless future warships. Its fearsome presence in battles across the galaxy solidified its place as one of the most iconic vessels of the Jedi Civil War era and beyond. The Interdictor class emerged during a time of great upheaval in the galaxy, playing a prominent role in the Jedi Civil War and the conflicts that followed. The ship's development can be traced back to 3963, before Battle of Yavin, when Admiral Jemus Veltra proposed the design for a new type of warship that could prevent enemy fleets from fleeing into hyperspace. Veltra's vision laid the groundwork for the Interdictor class, but after his death in the Mandalorian Wars, some advocated for renaming the class in his honor. However, this proposal was ultimately rejected by the Supreme Chancellor, and the name Interdictor remained. The original prototypes were built by Republic CNR systems at the Corellian shipyards, though it wasn't until the rise of Darth Revan that the ship's full potential was realized. Revan, having seized control of the Star Forge, began mass-producing the Interdictor-class cruisers, using the ancient superweapon to fuel his growing fleet. These Sith warships, built in vast numbers by the Star Forge, rivaled the power of later Imperial Star Destroyers, and the production of the class quickly escalated. One of the earliest and most famous ships of this class was the Leviathan, which was originally a Galactic Republic warship. However, it was commandeered by Admiral Saul Kareth, a former Republic officer who defected to the Sith along with his ship to serve Revan and Malak. The Leviathan was a unique Interdictor-class cruiser, boasting enhanced armament with 20 quad laser cannons, 4 turbo lasers, 2 ion cannons, and a tractor beam projector. Under Karath's command, the Leviathan became the flagship of the Sith fleet and participated in several significant battles. One such engagement was the Siege of Taris, where Darth Malak positioned his fleet, including numerous Interdictor-class cruisers, around the planet in an effort to capture the Jedi Knight Bastila Shan. When the search for Bastila dragged on too long, Malak, growing impatient, ordered the bombardment of Taris, reducing its upper city to ruins with the Interdictor's turbo lasers. This act of devastation demonstrated the destructive potential of these ships. Later, the Interdictor class saw action during the Battle of Rakata Prime, a key confrontation in the Jedi Civil War. As the conflict reached its climax, the Sith fleet, composed of hundreds of Interdictor-class cruisers, engaged the Republic near the Starforge. Despite the formidable power of the Sith fleet, the Starforge was ultimately destroyed, bringing an end to the mass production of these ships. However, many of the remaining Interdictors survived and continued to serve the Sith Empire in the years that followed. One of the most notable uses of the Interdictor class after the Jedi Civil War was by Darth Nihilus, one of the Dark Lords of the Sith Triumvirate. Nihilus's fleet, centered around the Ravager, was composed largely of these cruisers, and they played a pivotal role in the Battle of Telos IV, where Nihilus attempted to consume the planet's life force. Though Nihilus was ultimately defeated, the Interdictor class remained a symbol of Sith power and naval dominance. The legacy of the Interdictor-class Cruiser extended well beyond the Jedi Civil War and into later periods of galactic history. Its design principles, particularly the concept of gravity well projectors for hyperspace interdiction, would inspire future generations of warship designers. Cinar Fleet Systems, the successor to Republic Cinar systems under the Galactic Empire, would later create the Immobilizer 418 cruiser, a ship equipped with an even more advanced form of gravity well technology. This new vessel, known colloquially as an Interdictor, continued the legacy of the original Interdictor-class Cruiser, cementing its place in galactic warfare for millennia to come. The Interdictor-class Cruiser was more than just a warship. It represented a tactical innovation that changed the nature of space combat forever. By preventing enemy fleets from escaping into hyperspace, these cruisers gave the Sith Empire a critical advantage in battles, allowing them to capture or destroy entire fleets. Though the original production run of these ships came to an end with the destruction of the Starforge, their design would endure, influencing the development of future capital ships like the Imperial-class Star Destroyers and the later Interdictor-class Star Destroyers of the Galactic Empire. Ultimately, the Interdictor-class Cruiser stands as one of the most iconic warships of the Sith Empire, its presence a testament to the Empire's military might and its legacy enduring well beyond the wars it helped to shape. The Centurion-class Battlecruiser was one of the most powerful capital ships fielded by both the Galactic Republic and various Sith factions, including Darth Revan's Sith Empire and the Sith Triumvirate. This battlecruiser, which dwarfed its contemporaries, played a pivotal role in numerous galactic conflicts, demonstrating the strategic importance of heavy firepower combined with command capabilities. The Centurion class served not only as a frontline warship, but also as a command ship, capable of leading vast fleets into battle. Its imposing presence was a symbol of both Republic might and Sith dominance throughout the galaxy. One of the standout features of the Centurion-class Battlecruiser was its massive size, measuring 1,200 meters in length, twice the size of the Interdictor-class Cruiser. This expanded size allowed for greater cargo capacity, additional firepower, and a larger crew, making it ideal for extended campaigns and large-scale engagements. Equipped with a complement of 96 Sith interceptors and various support vehicles, the Centurion class was able to field a powerful fighter screen to defend itself against smaller, faster enemies. Its armament included 6 medium turbo laser batteries, 6 heavy ion cannon batteries, 6 light point defense laser batteries, and 3 tractor beam batteries, giving it significant offensive and defensive capabilities. The Centurion class was particularly effective in fleet actions, where its heavy weapons and fighter complement made it a central piece of any battle strategy. The ship's combination of medium turbo lasers and heavy ion cannons allowed it to engage enemy capital ships, while its point defense lasers and fighter squadrons defended against starfighters and bombers. The tractor beams further enhanced its ability to control the battlefield by capturing or immobilizing smaller enemy ships, making it a formidable opponent in any space engagement. The Centurion-class Battlecruiser was designed for endurance and command, Its command tower was equipped with spacious quarters for the officers, and its bridge was vast, reportedly the size of a concert hall. This design emphasized its dual role as both a combat vessel and a command ship, with enough space to accommodate high-ranking military personnel and allow for complex fleet coordination. Its hyperdrive system, rated at Class 2 with a Class 8 backup, enabled the ship to travel quickly between star systems, ensuring it could be deployed rapidly to critical battlefronts. In terms of logistics, the Centurion class could carry up to 32,000 tons of cargo and enough consumables for a crew of 31,452 to last up to 5 years. This made it a perfect fit for long-duration missions, particularly deep space campaigns where resupply points were scarce. The ship also had the capacity to transport 7,400 troops, making it an essential tool for planetary invasions or large-scale ground engagements. With its ability to sustain itself for extended periods, the Centurion-class Battlecruiser was a self-sufficient war machine, capable of independent operations far from friendly support. The Centurion-class Battlecruiser was more than just a weapon of war. It was a mobile command center, crucial for coordinating large fleets and leading complex operations. Its combination of firepower, command capabilities, and logistics support made it an indispensable asset in any military campaign. During battles, Centurion-class battlecruisers often served as the flagship of Sith fleets, where their commanders could oversee the engagement, direct reinforcements, and deploy fighters with precision. During the reign of the Sith Triumvirate, the Centurion-class battlecruiser gained a fearsome reputation. Ships like the Ravager, led by Darth Nihilus, became symbols of the dark power of the Sith, leaving devastation in their wake. The battlecruiser's ability to spearhead large-scale assaults and withstand heavy fire made it a key player in the Sith's strategic plans. Whether it was blockading Republic planets, leading naval assaults, or acting as a command ship in a fleet-wide battle, the Centurion class was integral to the Sith's war effort. The most infamous Centurion-class battlecruiser was the Ravager, which gained notoriety during the latter years of the Jedi Civil War. Originally serving in the Republic Navy during the Mandalorian Wars, the Ravager was destroyed in the devastating Battle of Malachor V, where it was left adrift among the wreckage of countless ships. Years later, the ship was resurrected by the dark side powers of Darth Nihilus, who used it as his personal flagship. The Ravager, now a decaying, terrifying vessel, became a symbol of Nihilus's unstoppable hunger and his devastating campaign against the remnants of the Jedi and the Republic. The ship's final battle came during the Second Battle of Telos IV, where it was destroyed once again, this time permanently. Another notable ship from this class was the Tears of Taris, so named after its participation in the infamous bombardment of Taris, a planet decimated by Sith forces during the war. The Tears of Taris survived the Jedi Civil War and eventually found its way into the fleet of the resurgent Sith Empire, where it served for the next 300 years. This ship played a crucial role in many campaigns, and its legacy endured well beyond the wars of Revan's era. Eventually, the ship was disassembled on the orders of Darth Charnus, and its parts were combined with components from newer Harrower-class ships. These modifications transformed the vessel into Darth Charnus's personal dreadnought, which he commanded during the Battle of Corellia, another key moment in galactic warfare. By the end of the Jedi Civil War, the Centurion class had largely been phased out due to the high cost of repairs and the devastating losses suffered during the conflict. As newer, more advanced warships like the Harrower-class Dreadnoughts came into production, the Centurion class saw its last days in active service. Nevertheless, its contributions to both the Republic and the Sith Empires made it a pivotal class of warship in galactic history. The Sith Fighter, also known as the Sith Interceptor, was a mass-produced starfighter that formed the backbone of Darth Revan and Darth Malak's space forces during the Jedi Civil War. Manufactured by the Star Forge, an ancient Rakatan superweapon and shipyard, these fighters were a product of hybridized technology from unknown origins, making them both unique and formidable in battle. They played a pivotal role in the Sith fleet, supporting capital ships like the Centurion-class Battlecruiser by providing fast and agile starfighter support. The Sith fighter was designed for speed and agility at the cost of pilot comfort and hull integrity. Measuring 7 meters in length with wings extended, the Starfighter was compact and streamlined, which made it highly maneuverable in dogfights. However, this design came at a cost. The ship's hull had minimal integrity, meaning it was lightly armored and vulnerable to damage. The ship also featured minimal life support, and although the pilot did not need a spacesuit, many opted to wear one given the likelihood of being shot down and needing to eject. At the heart of the Sith fighter was its prototype twin-ion drive system, a powerful and efficient engine design of Rakatan origin. This system allowed the fighter to reach atmospheric speeds of 1,250 kilometers per hour and provided exceptional maneuverability, though it bordered on instability. The fighter's maneuverability was so high that much of its internal space was dedicated to managing its reactor core, ensuring the ship could function at peak performance during high-speed engagements. One of the fighter's most distinctive features was its folding wings, which allowed it to reduce its profile when docked or in transit. When ready for combat, the wings would unfold, giving the craft a total length of 7 meters and increasing its firepower. The fighter was equipped with 2 laser cannons, one on each wingtip, providing a wide attack arc. Its small size and narrow profile made it a difficult target in dogfights, allowing it to outmaneuver larger, slower ships. While the Sith fighter had no room for passengers and only limited cargo capacity of 40 kilograms, it was designed for short-term combat missions. The ship could only support its pilot for up to 1 day before requiring resupply, emphasizing its role as a fast, aggressive strike craft rather than a long-term patrol or reconnaissance vessel. The Sith fighter was designed for rapid deployment and swarm tactics. Its mass production capabilities, thanks to the Starforge, allowed the Sith fleet to field vast numbers of these fighters in a relatively short time. This overwhelming numerical advantage gave the Sith an edge in space battles, as even a single capital ship could carry and launch waves of Sith fighters at a moment's notice. The fighters were typically housed in the cargo bays of larger Sith warships, such as the Centurion-class Battlecruiser, and could be launched in rapid succession when needed. Their ability to fold their wings made them easy to store in tight quarters, maximizing the number of fighters that could be deployed from a single ship. Once in space, the fighters would unfold their wings and engage enemy targets with remarkable speed and agility, often catching enemy forces off guard. The Sith fighter made its first appearance as Darth Revan and Darth Malak returned to the galaxy as conquerors after the Mandalorian Wars. While much of their fleet consisted of repurposed Republic ships, the Sith fighters were a completely new design, specifically manufactured by the Starforge to bolster their numbers. These fighters quickly became synonymous with the Sith war machine, their sleek and deadly form striking fear into the hearts of Republic forces. During the Jedi Civil War, Sith fighters were often the first wave of attack in space battles, providing crucial support to the larger capital ships in the Sith fleet. Their ability to scramble quickly made them an effective first strike weapon, allowing the Sith to overwhelm enemy forces before they could mount a proper defense. Even after the destruction of the Starforge and the eventual decline of Revan's Sith Empire, remnants of these fighters could still be found in use by Darth Nihilus and the Sith Triumvirate, continuing their legacy as a symbol of Sith military power. Though their lightweight design and minimal protection made them vulnerable to sustained attacks, the Sith fighters' speed, maneuverability, and sheer numbers made them a formidable adversary in any battle. Their role in the Sith war machine ensured that they left a lasting impact on galactic warfare during the tumultuous years of the Jedi Civil War. The B28 Extinction-class Bomber, also known as the B28, was a powerful starfighter used by the reconstituted Sith Empire during the Great Galactic War and the Cold War. Specializing in heavy bombardment, the B28 played a crucial role in large-scale assaults and planetary sieges, where it delivered devastating firepower from the skies. Its design and role made it a vital component of the Imperial Navy, particularly in operations requiring the destruction of ground-based infrastructure or the weakening of enemy fleets through precision strikes. As a bomber, the B-28 was built for one purpose: to unleash heavy ordnance on its targets. While not as fast or agile as interceptors or standard starfighters, it compensated with powerful payloads designed to devastate both enemy starships and planetary targets. Typically, these bombers carried large explosive payloads, which could include proton bombs, torpedoes, and other types of heavy munitions. In battle, they would unleash these weapons in quick succession, targeting key enemy installations or weakening the defenses of larger capital ships. Unlike the faster and more maneuverable Sith interceptors, which were designed for dogfights and fleet skirmishes, the B28 bomber was slow and required heavy protection. It was commonly deployed in squadrons, escorted by faster starfighters like the Sith Fighter, which could defend it from enemy interceptors. The B28 was vulnerable to enemy fighter craft due to its larger size and slower speed, so it relied heavily on coordinated tactics within the Imperial Navy. In battle, it would often fly in formation with escort ships, releasing its payload at optimal moments when enemy defenses were thinned out or disabled by the main fleet. The B28 Extinction-class Bomber was a crucial tool in the Sith Empire's strategy of overwhelming force. Its most famous deployment was during the sacking of Coruscant, where squadrons of B28 bombers were responsible for much of the destruction that befell the Republic's capital. These bombers rained destruction on the urban sprawl of Coruscant, leveling key buildings and military installations. The bombing campaign was an essential part of the Sith's larger effort to cripple the Republic's leadership and infrastructure, demonstrating the bombers' value in strategic planetary attacks. The bombers' role extended beyond planetary assaults. In space battles, the B-28 was often used against heavily shielded enemy capital ships, which required concentrated firepower to weaken or destroy. Bombers would work in conjunction with Imperial Navy capital ships, such as the Harrower-class Dreadnought, which would engage in long-range bombardment, while the bombers delivered close-range strikes against vulnerable sections of the enemy fleet. This tactic proved effective in several key engagements, allowing the Sith to break through Republic defenses and dominate key battlefronts. The B-28's ability to bombard planetary targets also made it an indispensable part of siege warfare. During the Cold War, the Kizar-Volvek bulk cruiser Paramount deployed several B-28 bombers to bombard the planet Sabaton during Independent Operation Sabaton in 3643 before Battle of Yavin. The operation demonstrated the bomber's flexibility, as it could be quickly launched from carriers or cruisers to strike enemy targets at a moment's notice. Bombers like the B-28 could strike deep into enemy territory, making them ideal for preemptive strikes or for softening up targets before a larger assault force arrived. The B-28 bombers were often used in combined arms tactics with other Sith Empire vessels. In large fleet actions, the bombers would work alongside Sith interceptors and Sith capital ships to create a layered attack strategy. Fighters would engage the enemy starfighters, clearing the way for the slower-moving bombers, while Sith capital ships provided long-range fire support. Once the enemy's fighter screen was weakened, the bombers would swoop in to deliver devastating strikes against critical enemy installations, such as shield generators, command bridges, or weapon systems. This combined approach was essential to the Sith Empire's military doctrine. The B-28 was never meant to operate independently. Instead, it functioned as part of a larger fleet, where its destructive potential could be maximized with the support of other ships. In planetary assaults, bombers would typically be deployed after the Sith fleet had established control of the skies, ensuring that enemy anti-aircraft systems or starfighter patrols had been neutralized. By the end of the Cold War, the B-28 had become a symbol of the Sith Empire's relentless approach to warfare. It left a lasting impact on the galaxy, particularly through high-profile operations like the sacking of Coruscant and the bombing of Sabaton. Its design influenced future generations of bombers, both in the Sith Empire and beyond, as its role in combining heavy firepower with strategic bombing campaigns remained critical to military operations across the galaxy. Though its service was eventually phased out after the Cold War, with newer models replacing it, the B-28 Extinction-class Bomber remained an iconic part of the Sith Empire's space arsenal. Its devastating effectiveness in both space and planetary battles ensured that it would be remembered as one of the most fearsome bombers of its time, a vessel that could turn the tide of battles through sheer destructive force. The Mark VI Supremacy-class Starfighter, commonly referred to as the ISF Interceptor, or simply the Mark VI Interceptor, was a fast and agile starfighter used by the reconstituted Sith Empire during the Great Galactic War. Designed to function as a high-speed interceptor, the Mark VI was a vital part of the Imperial Armada, often deployed in rapid response to enemy incursions or used to gain space superiority in key battles. Though lightly armed and minimally shielded, it excelled in speed and maneuverability, making it a crucial tool in the Sith Empire's fleet. The Mark VI Interceptor was equipped with twin-ion engines, granting it immense speed and acceleration, far surpassing standard starfighters of the era. This made it an ideal craft for intercepting enemy ships, especially slower-moving bombers or transport vessels. The Interceptor's minimal shielding and light armament were intentional sacrifices to enhance its agility and speed, making it perfect for fast hit-and-run tactics or swarming enemy formations. Pilots relied on the ship's maneuverability rather than its defenses, engaging in daring attacks and outmaneuvering their opponents to gain the upper hand. The Mark VI was armed with 4 laser cannons, 2 mounted on the wingtips and 2 placed on the chin of the vessel. Though the Interceptor lacked the heavy weaponry of bombers or strike fighters, such as proton or concussion missile launchers, its rapid-fire laser cannons made it a threat in dogfights. The craft's weapons were ideal for overwhelming enemy starfighters and capital ships' weak points, especially when deployed in large numbers. One of the Interceptor's notable features was its life support system, capable of sustaining a pilot for up to 36 hours. It also came equipped with a field survival kit and a blaster carbine, in case the pilot was forced to eject during battle. These features highlighted the Mark VI's role as a frontline interceptor, where pilots often found themselves in precarious situations deep within enemy lines. The Mark VI Supremacy-class Interceptor was primarily deployed as a rapid response and space superiority fighter. Its unmatched speed and agile frame allowed it to intercept and destroy enemy craft before they could pose a significant threat. These interceptors were especially useful in stopping bombing runs, attacking vulnerable transport ships, and defending larger capital ships from enemy starfighter assaults. The key strength of the Mark VI lay in its ability to engage in swarm tactics. A single Mark VI might struggle against heavily shielded or well-armed foes, but when deployed in large groups, they became a terrifying force. Pilots would use their ship's speed and rapid-firing laser cannons to overwhelm enemy starfighters, attacking from multiple angles at once. In such engagements, the Mark VI interceptors relied on their numbers and the chaos they created to confuse and outgun their opponents, often catching them off guard with the sheer volume of attacks. Because of its minimal shielding and light armament, Mark VI pilots had to adopt aggressive, high-risk tactics. In battle, they would often approach the enemy at high speeds, deliver a rapid barrage of laser fire, and quickly pull away before the enemy could retaliate. This hit-and-fade approach kept the Mark VI pilots constantly on the move, utilizing their ship's agility to avoid enemy fire. It was not uncommon for squadrons of Mark VI interceptors to make multiple high-speed passes against enemy fleets, slowly wearing down their defenses while evading counterattacks. The Mark VI Supremacy-class Starfighter saw extensive use in several critical battles during the Great Galactic War. One of its most notable deployments was during the attack on the Republic shipyards in the Sluis sector, where squadrons of Mark VI interceptors played a pivotal role in disrupting Republic reinforcements and ensuring the Sith fleet's dominance. By targeting the Republic's supply and transport ships, the interceptors effectively crippled the Republic's ability to mount a defense, allowing the Sith to strike at the heart of their fleet. Another key engagement was the Battle of Alderaan, where Mark VI interceptors were used to gain air superiority over the Republic's defensive fleets. Their speed allowed them to outmaneuver the slower Republic fighters and disrupt the Republic's coordinated attacks, helping the Sith gain a decisive foothold on the planet. The Mark VI Interceptor was also deployed during Darth Malgus's campaigns, including the Battle of Ziost and the infamous sacking of Coruscant. During these operations, the Mark VI Interceptor were instrumental in executing surprise attacks and maintaining the Sith's control over the space lanes, often catching Republic forces unprepared with their lightning-fast strikes. Though lightly armed, the Mark VI Supremacy-class Starfighter became a symbol of the Sith Empire's dominance in space combat during the Great Galactic War. Its success lay not in brute force, but in its agility and strategic use. Mark VI interceptors were often paired with heavier ships, such as B28 Extinction-class Bombers or Sith capital ships, to protect them from enemy fighters, while they delivered devastating strikes against larger targets. In fleet engagements, the Mark VI served as the vanguard, breaking through enemy starfighter screens to allow bombers and capital ships to engage more heavily defended targets. Its speed and swarm tactics created openings in enemy formations, paving the way for the Sith Empire's heavier vessels to inflict maximum damage. While it could not hold up in extended one-on-one dogfights against more heavily shielded ships, the Mark VI's ability to outmaneuver and outnumber enemy forces made it one of the most feared starfighters of its time. After the Great Galactic War, the Mark VI remained in use during the Cold War by various Sith factions and the Eternal Alliance. Despite being gradually replaced by newer models, the Mark VI Interceptor was remembered for its effectiveness in battle and its critical role in the Sith Empire's space dominance. Its design, emphasizing speed and precision over raw firepower, influenced later generations of interceptors, cementing the Mark VI's place in galactic starfighter history.